Are the New York Islanders going to trade Nino Niederreiter? Not bloody likely. Is Nino Niederreiter likely to appear in the NHL again this season after appearing for brief stints 2 seasons ago and for the full season last year? Yes, it is likely. He's doing well in the AHL. He's been leading them in scoring most of the season, and he's likely to get an appearance with the Islanders if they think he's ready later on or when injuries mount. But it's never dull in Islanders country, so things were all a Twitter, as they say, when Katie Strang of ESPN-NewYork.com first tweeted and then followed up with a headline grabber that Nino Niederreiter or his camp had requested a trade. Further context was unearthed later when Newsday's Arthur Staple talked to Garth Snow and was able to confirm that the trade request came from Niederreiter's agent via email. This was at the beginning of the abridged training camp for this lockout-shortened season when the player and his agent learned that he was not invited to Islanders training camp. Of course, the Isles just brought in a few prospects who they knew weren't going to make the team, and Ryan Strome and Griffin Reinhart, giving them some exposure. Nino had been up with the Islanders all last year. And they also invited several players from Bridgeport that they obviously saw as having a potential role on this year's team because Colin McDonald, Casey Cizikas, and others made the opening night 23-man roster. Now, the question is, where did this trade rumor come from in terms of spirit? Well, Andre Rufner, Nino Niederreiter's Swiss agent, if you're unfamiliar, is kind of like an Alan Walsh of sorts among Swiss hockey players. He's one of those rather proactive and noisy advocates for his players. He appears a lot in Swiss media. You'll also see quotes from him about players he represents well before they make the NHL. He's a former player in the Swiss league over there and also fancies himself quite the eye for talent. So he's lined up several of these players back when they were 15, 16 years old, and of course believes that he is shepherding them to stardom. He certainly thinks, or thought 2 years ago, that Nino Niederreiter will be a star, and surely he still hopes so. Surely he still hopes that Nino gains and earns NHL salaries as quickly as possible. But are the Islanders likely to trade Nino Niederreiter? No, not anytime soon. He's a core piece of their prospect pipeline, and though he seems to get impatient every now and then, they're usually able to channel that toward what's best for him and the Isles, which is for Nino to continue developing and becoming a decent NHLer, which is what all parties concerned, including Islanders fans, stressed out from all this drama, hope happens. I'm Dominic Yansky with LighthouseHockey.com. This is SB Nation's YouTube channel. We're following silly mini dramas like this all the time.